Thank you. You have spent the whole morning and part of the afternoon discussing renewable energy and the potential for it. Firstly, the agreement with IMF has two advantages for us. One, we are restructuring the debt. Secondly, it should unleash the growth potentials of Sri Lanka. Getting on to our growth potential of the areas we've identified, one of the largest areas for growth and in the short term also is energy, renewable energy. As Eric mentioned, in all the fields, whether it be wind energy, whether it be solar, whether it be biomass, whether it be hydro, there's still the potential for renewable energy. In addition to it, the potential for basically the green hydrogen. It's a question of how do we exploit it, what are the investments, and in that it will be a field that is open to private investors, both local and foreign. And in the next 2 months, the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Energy, and the Climate Change Office will be announcing the new policies on the green economy and on renewables. The potential is big, and Sri Lanka wants to be one of the first in Asia to be in this field, because we have to use our natural advantages, and certainly renewable energy falls into it. You all are those who have had the experience of investing in green energy projects. So when you look at Sri Lanka, remember that we will also be linked to South India, looking at the synergies of South India, not only in renewable and energy, but in other forms. We have already discussed Indian Oil of having their pipeline from India straight into Trincomalee. But we also see Trincomalee as a potential port for green hydrogen. That's the closest port to the north, which has the bulk of green hydrogen, renewable energy, wind power in Sri Lanka. So all this means opportunities, all means development, and development which means that the Sri Lanka economy expands, and at the same time you invest money and you get a good return on your investments. So we will look at how we accelerate the investment procedures and get through quickly. That's basically the strategy of the government.
All right. Mr. President, I'm Willi Eerola from Finland, and we have worked for years with Orbital Energy. And we are kind of, thanks of the IMF deal, we are now back in talks also with the Finnish government. My question is, I know this is a challenging question, but my question is that I want you to give the answer that I can share with my friends around the world. How you can secure that Sri Lanka will stay stable as possible, which is obviously one of the key issues for investors as well.
We've gone through a really bad period, and that's the best instance that Sri Lanka will stay stable. We will not want to go back. I remember we had a similar experience from 70 to 1977, and that was enough for a long generations for people to come in and say, look, we want to open up, we want to go ahead, and that's how we became an export economy. Okay, we've had this terrible experience, but to go ahead, IMF agreement alone is a 4-year one. And I am putting this agreement out to Parliament, and I will legislate what is there in the IMF agreement for our fiscal rules that will come in. So that keeps the first 4 years, and you go along the path. But there will be other legislation also that will set the path. There won't be the government won't have the discretion of saying tomorrow we are going to have a new system. You won't have a new system. You have to go through with it. The faster that we show results, the more people will not want the system to change. What about wave energy? What about wave energy?
Wave energy, We will talk, years back, we talked about a lot of waste to energy, biogas, all those things. And I asked the question today a couple of times that everybody's talking about biomass. So, and I was told it's just basically burning wood chip. But also, this is my just quick comments, because I've been saying this for years, Nathan knows this very well, that because basically we could do pretty easily Sri Lanka to be the most sustainable country in terms of energy production. That, I think that should be the goal, whether it's a wave or whether it's wind or whether it's solar or whatever. But thanks, I will share your feeling of trust with my friends. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, my name is Kevin. I'm the CEO of ProClimb. In your good message, and we're looking to be a part of this story that you're trying to tell to the world outside. My question is about the whole carbon credit market and Sri Lanka's carbon story. Sri Lanka has an ambition for being carbon neutral itself, but then are you looking at trading the surplus carbon credits, if at all you do have a vision for trading carbon credits?
We aim for that we do trade in carbon credit. And we have an advantage there, so why not use it?
Are you looking by any chance to create a exchange or a compliance market, if at all that is something on your mind?
Something we are talking about, how we do it, whether Sri Lanka would be viable or whether look elsewhere, but it's in our minds. Yes.
I think it requires razor-sharp focus of facilitation by the government to make such partnerships where trust is built.
I think best is for you all to tell us what exactly should be the procedures and what is the business environment to expect, because we can, if necessary, bring in legislation which will govern the renewable energy sector and the green economy. So it may be best to lay down the rules and we can pass separate legislation governing them. We want to be one of the first countries in this field. And therefore, we must have the legal framework to go in and the administrative framework.
I'm with ProClimb, and I'm the climate change advisor. And first off, I would like to commend the government for its innovative climate initiatives that were presented this morning.
Again, to thank you all. And I hope I've been able to express to you the commitment Sri Lanka has to go ahead. We want to be one of the first in this part of the world, and as we have done with the tea, we want to be one of the best.